Hey everyone, welcome back to another Listen While You Work. Today I'm going to be taking photos of about 25 items, and I'm going to be talking about what I would do if I would just completely start over again on reselling. I took a lot of notes. A lot of this is going to be ad lib. I'm not going to be talking very loudly because my wife is in the other room working, so you may have to turn me up a notch. And let's go ahead and talk about the first point, that if I was to start selling from scratch, and I'm talking about taking all my items out of my store, selling them off, starting from zero. I've made a lot of mistakes over the last few years. I've done a lot of other great things, but I've made a lot of mistakes. If I knew now what I didn't know then, oh my gosh. Have you ever thought about doing that? Have you ever thought about just starting over? Yeah. Well, the first thing that I would do over again is I would pick a niche. And by a niche, I mean I would either pick clothing or um, appliance parts only, or, you know, just one thing. Because what I've found by niching down to clothing is that I can have a better understanding of how things are selling, what brands are selling, what sizes are selling, what not to pick up again. When things sit and sit and sit for a long time, and if you ever go any of my playlists about my tier system, you know that I keep things separated by, what they are, the different kinds of categories they are. And it's really interesting because I can see what's sold and how long it's taken to sell, but my appliance parts are mixed up in there. And so it's not a really good indication. Sorry, I'm going to have trouble here because I'm running out of room and I need to lay my items down for my color wheel. So I may have to stop every once in a while. So anyway, I would niche down. I never had a niche when I first started. I was just selling anything I could find, right? My first sale, I went to like a church sale and I got about 30 little football helmets. They were teeny tiny. They were about the size of a quarter. I knew nothing about reselling, okay? Each one had a different helmet from a different football team. And I listed each one of those little guys individually. And my first sale was like $7 on this little tiny football helmet. And you would have thought I had won the lottery when that thing sold. I mean, it was crazy. And yeah, I was literally going around and picking up anything that look fun or that it might sell. I don't know. And I don't have anything against sellers who don't have a niche. I mean, people that are the all and everything store, like the country store that has everything. But for me personally, it would help me focus more if I just had that one niche. And that's what I'm trying to do right now with clothing, is niche down. Um, so yeah, this is not going to work. I'm going to need to go get a table. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Got a little table here. Didn't have anything to lay anything on to take pictures of like sizes or my color wheel photo. TV tables are amazing. You can use them for everything. Okay, so um at one point, it was about after I was about 2 years into reselling, I found this lady on Craigslist who was selling like 3,000 sewing patterns. And I went in there and offered to pay 10 cents a piece if I could go and, look and see what she had. Well, um, I should have bought them all, but I'm kind of glad I didn't buy them all, but I should have bought them all at that price. I think I probably had trouble with cash flow at that time. And do you know I got so tired of sewing patterns that by the time I was down to like 1,500 of them, I donated them to Goodwill. How stupid is that? but I just got so tired of them. And so I can understand when people have a niche that they get tired of selling the same thing over and over again, because that's what happened to me with patterns as well. And I was like, if I have to look at another sewing pattern, but on the other hand, it did me a good thing because I got tons of feedback from those sewing patterns. So when you look at all my feedback, I have like, I don't know, 2,400 or more. A lot of those are from those sewing patterns, those original sewing patterns. People love them. And I thought I wasn't making much money, but when you buy something for 10 cents and sell it for, between 8 and 13 bucks plus shipping, you are making some money. Anyway, I digress. But I would pick a niche, at least at the beginning, to really get used to how to list things. And, having a niche, I have templates, and so it's just very easy to list. It's very easy to price things. I already know pretty much how much I'm going to get for each item. I don't have to do a lot of research. And then after I got really good at a niche, then I might have branched out into something else. The next thing I would do differently is I would have probably picked to one sourcing place in the beginning. Um, I was going to garage sales, thrift stores, estate sales, rummage sales, getting donations. And, you're saying, well, Beth, what's wrong with that? Well, it kind of goes back to the niche, because now that I have my one major sourcing place, um, I can plan ahead more as to when their sales are, and I can, for some reason, my finger is in the middle of this picture. Um, I don't know. I would just pick one. Like, I would either have been a thrift store sourcer, or a garage sale sourcer, or an estate sale sourcer, or buying storage units sourcer. So when I say one place, I don't mean just one specific store, but it would just be easier, I think, in the beginning at least, to only source one way until I got that down, to a really good method. And then once I learned how to source that way, then I might added another way of sourcing. But I mean, guys, I was all over the place. I was in and out of the car. I was trying to keep track of my mileage. I couldn't remember what my cost of goods were every time. I kept forgetting to write it down. I mean, it was crazy. Guys, I don't like looking for material tags. Uh, this is a really cute dress. I believe I got this. Oh, it's already on here. Okay. I think I got this from my wholesale order. Yeah, guys, if you haven't gone back and seen one of my wholesale unboxings, be sure you go and watch that and see some of the items that I got from my wholesale box. I've already sold 4 or 5 of those items. I've listed about 40 of them, I think. But anyway, this is a really cute dress by Karen Stevens. Isn't that cute? It's a little bit sheer, so I need to put that on there because a lady got mad at me because she said a shirt was sheer and I didn't put it. So I'm going to try to remember doing that. Okay, so back to the topic. So a niche and sourcing from the same kind of places in the beginning. All right. Um, the next thing I would do if I started over is my prices. I would start super low in the beginning and then see how they were selling at that low price and get a good customer base, be known for super cheap prices. I mean, of course you want to make a profit, so you wouldn't want to price it lower than, making a profit or anything. But I would have listed my items super cheap, start getting a really good customer base, and then gradually increase my prices to see if I could get more for them. Because every time I had a, YouTube influencer look at my store, they always told me that my prices were too high. And it's very difficult to get a customer back to your store when you've priced something too high. It's easier if you price it low, get them there, get them to favorite your store, and then later you can up the prices. It's harder to lower them, I think, than it is to increase them. Um, I wasn't really good at research. I don't think they even had Terapeak, or maybe you had to pay for it. So I had to go to eBay, click solds. I was terrible at research. And I was pricing it as to what, I thought it was worth. Well, what it's worth to me is not what it's worth to a customer. So I see that my prices were too high. There are some items now that I'm pricing higher than I was last year, simply because people are coming in and they're getting more items, and I can get away with that by increasing the price. I just can't. But I always offer best offers too, so I don't know. Another thing I would have done if I could start over again, and it's not what I would do, it's what I wouldn't do, is I wouldn't worry about feedback. I see a lot of people saying, oh, I've had all these sales this month, but nobody's leaving me feedback. What can I do to get feedback? Well, I did a video on this a long time ago, probably 2 years ago, about if you're asking for feedback, you're asking for trouble. Like, no feedback is better than negative feedback, right? So it's not really the number of feedback that you have, it's the kind of feedback you have. And again, I was an eBay baby. I didn't have anybody to ask. I didn't know who to talk to ask that question. And so I was like, you know, think I was even putting stuff in my packages going, please leave us feedback. Well, don't. Don't do that. If they're happy with it and they leave you a good feedback, be glad. But most people don't leave feedback if it's good. But if they're unhappy, they will come back and leave you feedback, right? So don't don't ask for it. Be careful what you ask for. So now it doesn't bother me. Now I go to my feedback every day to see if I have a negative or a neutral, because I can get those taken off because I offer 60-day free returns, but I don't look at the number. All right. All right. Another thing I would do if I start over again, trust me, I've thought about doing it, is I would offer free returns right from the get go. Um, eBay is trying to compete with Amazon. Amazon's trying to compete with Walmart. Walmart's trying to compete with Target. And all these platforms, they offer free returns for no reason, right? And so while you may not like that, free returns is the way to go. I mean, right now I only have one return in my box, and it's only because I reported the buyer a couple of weeks ago, um, because I felt it was a false INAD and it hasn't rolled off yet. I've already refunded her, but I didn't refund her original shipping. And so whenever you report a buyer for a false INAD, you have to give it time to clear out because eBay has to review it. It says the buyer's waiting, they're waiting for the buyer to accept the return or the refund, but that's not really what it is. It's that eBay is going through the process of trying to figure out if I'm in the wrong or if the customer's in the wrong. And it usually takes about 3 or 4 weeks for it to roll off. So, I don't know. This is a really cute peasant top by Kato. I've decided not to put this on the mannequin because this would be worn off or on the shoulders and it's really large. My mannequin is a large, extra large mannequin, and I just didn't think it would do this top justice. So I'm putting it on a hanger. In the beginning, if I were to do it over again, I probably wouldn't have sourced at all. I probably would have gone through my house and sold things in my home, decluttered my home, um, instead of investing the money, you know, that I really didn't have at that time. I really didn't have a lot of money to invest at that time. And at that time, we were heavily in debt, and from previous obligations. And I mean, like we weren't overspenders or anything, but we had a lot of bills and a lot of medical bills, and we were just drowning in debt at the time. So I would have been smarter to have just gone through my home and found the bazillion things that we never used, right? And sold those. So I don't know. Have you guys ever sold things from your home? Now, I don't do that now because my niche is clothing, although I will resell some of my clothing. But, you know. All right, now I need to switch to mannequin. If y'all haven't seen some of my recent hauls, go back and watch them. This item right here was on my last haul. So these items that I'm photographing right now are from my wholesale box and also from my $1.75 box. So I'm getting ready to photograph this Quacker Factory top. I got it for $1.75. And let's see. Let's see. Okay, this is a very important one. Um, I would have found a reselling group to be involved in, either locally or online. It took me a couple of years to realize that there's resellers on YouTube. And I mean, like, I didn't even know there were resellers on YouTube. I didn't know there were reseller groups on Facebook. It took me a while to figure that out. And so, like I said, I was just so naive. And I was causing myself so much stress because I didn't have answers for my questions. And so I would have taken the time to, seek out some of these groups and some of these YouTube channels and places where I could ask questions. Reselling is such a lonely business. And that's the reason why I started my YouTube channel, because, my family and friends got tired of hearing about eBay. They didn't want to hear about it. Oh, I sold this. Well, they don't give a hoot about what I sold. Um, I mean, they may go, wow, but that's about it. They don't care about my problems that I'm having with customers or the website. So, yeah, I would have looked for groups to be a part of. Um, if I found one that I thought I liked and then, there was drama, well, I just get out of that group, right? So I'm in a group now that I really love. We click, there's no drama. We work together every day. I don't work with them every day, but they work together every day. Um, we have fun together. Sometimes it's like a party. Other days we're all working so hard that we barely even speak. But I know I can rely on these people for any questions I have, any support. I'm sure they've heard me cry. I've made a lot of really good friends out of it. Out of this group. And so you have to find your people. And so if one doesn't, work for you, leave. It's okay. Find someone else. Mm. You'd be amazed how many groups there are out there who are working together every day and getting a lot done. We get a lot done. Like this is probably the first hangout that I've been a part of where I get a lot done. Um, I think one of the reasons for that is that we don't have our cameras on. So like we're not constantly going, look at this, look at this, look at this. We're just talking. And so it's just kind of like listening to a podcast, but it's live and you're a part of it. I think that's why I get more work done in there. But support is so important, guys. You've got to have some support. And if you don't have anybody to help support you, just give me a call. I'll help you out. Always glad to listen to people vent about reselling. Or, message me and tell me about a fabulous sale you had. Oh, this is the top that Crystal wanted, but alas, it was not her size. And it's not my size. I would take this in a minute if it was my size. So this is a Quacker Factory. Look at all the sequins. Isn't that beautiful? I'm pricing this super high. I think I've got it priced at $34.99 best offer. That's pretty high for me for a Quacker Factory piece. So it's gorgeous. $1.75. Like, who would not have wanted this? Give it to me. I'll take it. I'll sell it. Um, my sales were good at the beginning of August, and now they're sucking again. And I stayed up really late last night. And Nissa, if you're watching this, I was up till 3:30. Could not go to sleep. Took NyQuil as a sleep aid, and I still couldn't sleep. So my phone kept chinging. So I was trying to get those items sold so they were going yesterday's total. So I just barely made $100 yesterday. Barely squeezed by. Yeah, my store's. But when your store is slow, that's the time to build it up. Something fell off my mannequin. That's not good. Be right back. Okay, well, I'm going to have to wait till I have the clothes off the mannequin, turn the mannequin upside down. This has happened before. It's just a little disc that, it goes on the bottom. And if it stays off like that, the mannequin will actually come off of the pedestal. So, gotta get this off of here first. And then I'll take a quick break. Oh, it's hot in here without the fan on, but yeah, like I tried to film with that fan and it's like I have a helicopter hat on my head. It's spinning and it bothers me. I don't think it would look very good in a video. So now I'm sweating profusely. Um, I just ordered my first order of Lume deodorant. I don't know if y'all seen the commercials. The commercials were horrible in the beginning, really gross. But I noticed that her commercials are a lot better. I don't know if you've noticed it. So I went ahead and rewarded her, Shannon Klingman or whatever her name is, with an order. And thank you to my friend who helped me decide what to purchase. Okay, so I gotta fix this mannequin here. There, it's back on. Yeah, if I don't screw that back in, the legs will fall off. That's just from spinning the mannequin round and round. It's time to change my cover because you can see that's oil from my hands every time I spin the mannequin. Oil from my hands. Oh, okay. Next thing I would have done if I was starting over again is not have YouTube influencers critique my store, because it was too, and this is just because I have anxiety, I think. It was very depressing. Um, Not that you shouldn't have your store critiqued. I think you should, but not by these people that have like thousands and thousands of followers and stuff, right? Some of them are just out to make money, and they basically tell everybody the same thing. I mean, I've even seen a YouTuber say, "I have a template, and I put this in everybody's critique." I mean, they even admitted to it. So I would pick a friend from one of your reseller groups to do that, maybe several friends, And like I was saying in my last work with me video, um, it sometimes it can be upsetting when somebody's critiquing your store because they might say, your pictures need improvement, your titles need improvement, your listings need improvement, and you're like, well, what doesn't need improvement? What is good about my store? Um, Sometimes it's kind of disheartening and it lets you down and then you lose your motivation. So if you want constructive criticism, um, I can be kind and gentle. Just let me know and I'll be glad to look at your store. Not that I'm doing everything right. Right. But I'm always I'm always available to look at people's store and give them pointers. I'd love for you to look at my store and give me pointers. It's listed below the link. My Poshmark Closet. I don't do a lot with it, but if you want to look at my store and eBay and critique my store, I'd be happy for you to do that because I know there are problems. I thought about keeping this top, but it's not me. Um, I would have in the very beginning when I first started selling clothing. If I had to do it over again, I would have found a way to hang dresses for photos. I didn't in my other house. I didn't have a way of hanging things up. Um, and I would have just made a way because if I knew what I knew now about dresses is one of my most popular sellers right now. And all it is a hook in the wall that was here when we moved, and the dresses look so good hung up like that. And so I literally did not sell dresses because I couldn't get the photos to look right on the mannequin. A lot of these dresses are bodycon dresses. They're super small. Can't squeeze them on my mannequin. And I just ended up donating them. Or some of them I hung on to. I was so glad I did because when we moved down here, I found them and I listed them. Most of them I've sold. So yeah, I would have found a way. But, and I mean, I literally hated dresses because of that, because it's like I have no way of staging them. But yeah, I should have I should have found a way. Another one, this is very important, and this one's going to get changed, I promise you. I would not have photo fused my items. And for those of you who don't know what photo fuse is, it's a way of taking the background out of your photo and it puts white behind your item. I have found that this is not really good for reselling because basically what you're doing is you're over promising to your customer that this item, it almost looks like it's coming out of a catalog when you're actually selling something that's pre-owned. And so already they think, oh my gosh, this thing is beautiful, it's amazing. And then when they get it, they're like, eh. So really, to me, it's better if you don't put white background. I didn't used to feel that way, but now that I've seen the benefits of making it, under promising, over delivering, this wall here, this brick wall, is all I have. Now my problem is my flat lays. Um, I use this from Home Depot. It's, you know, what do you call it? A project board, right? So when I lay an item out, like jeans, for instance, these creases show in the photo in the far back shots. So in the far back shots, I photo fuse that. There's 3 different shots because I don't want these creases to show. Probably the customer wouldn't care, but I care because I'm a perfectionist. So I don't want to do this anymore. Well, I just got a new Bronco Sport. So hopefully soon, when I make the time, I'm going to go down to Home Depot. I'm measuring this and I'm going to get some type of board that's completely solid, at least this size, and then I no longer have to photo fuse these creases out. And then my items will look more pre-owned, the way they're supposed to look, more natural. So if you're spending the time to photo fuse, it takes so much time. You have to load the items, then you have to photo fuse them, then you have to load them back in. It, I waste so much time doing that. And for what? People are going to buy it without that crease, with or without that crease. But it bugs me. So you guys need to make me accountable. And in a few weeks, ask me, Beth, did you go to Home Depot and get that board that you said you were going to get? Because I need to. It would save a lot of time and it would make my items look the way they actually look, right? All right, let me make sure I'm not, if I had to start over again, you're in these groups and everything, and people go, oh, I changed to best offer. I changed to free shipping. I changed to free returns. You start getting all this information and you go, well, I'm going to try that. I'm going to do that. Because Sally down the road is doing this. I'm going to do this. Because Nicole State is using a fur rug. I'm going to go out and get a fur rug. I'm so guilty of that, guys. Which reminds me, back to Photo Fuse. I used Photo Fuse when items were on that fur rug. They looked awful. Why I left those in my store, I don't know. I had to take a lot of them down and re-photograph years later. The photos were just awful. But she didn't photo fuse her items, so hers looked good, right? That fur rug. Oh, if you put something black on a fur rug like that, fur everywhere. A lot of senseless hours lint rolling fur out of dark items. Yeah, I would not listen to all these people and just like, I'm going to do that because she does that. She's successful at that. I'm going to do that. No, you can try that, but not actually move everything over to it, right? Do experiments in your store. I do that all the time. But to just completely go through, I think there were times I went completely through like 1,200 items and just changed everything. Just changed everything because somebody else was doing it. I'm not saying it didn't work for me, but sometimes it didn't. And I have to change it all back. So be careful who you listen to. Make changes a little bit at a time. Don't do things just because everybody else is doing it. Like your mother used to tell you, if someone jumped off a cliff, would you follow them? I mean, really? I mean, just think about me and Maggie, right? Maggie's my friend. We do tag talk videos. Um, some things sell really well for Maggie, and they don't sell diddly squat for me. And some things sell really well for me, and they don't sell diddly squat for Maggie. So do I go out and buy all the brands that Maggie sells? No. I pick up a few at a time. I'm very selective. I try it out. Try to have different sizes in that brand or whatever. I try it out. And then if it works for me, I buy more, right? But I don't just go all out, right? Okay. And this cute. This was in my wholesale box. Very cute. It's by Intrigue. It was in one of my hauls. Cute. All right. I would have kept my store smaller and only picked items as they sold. So I would have started with, let's say, Avenue. And I would have only picked Avenue, Catherine, stuff like that. And then as they sold, I would go out and get more. And then maybe add in a few brands in between, which is what I'm doing now. The problem is I have 3,300 items in my store. So, and a lot of them are appliance parts that probably are going to be coming down pretty soon. Yeah, I mean, I would have started small. I would have made my prices super cheap and then just kind of feel the market and see how it's going. And next one, I might up a couple of bucks or $5 and see, just test the waters. If you have a small store, don't worry about it. I would give anything really to go back to a small store because now it's like in order to keep up, I have to source 95 items a week minimum. List 15 a day. Although I'm doing pretty well. I mean, I could probably do 20 a day by now. I've got it down super fast, but I don't want to grow that big right now. I need to sell a lot off before I start doing 20 a day. But I could probably do it as long as I wasn't out of town or something. Right now I have 98 items in my draft bank. But um a lot of those don't have pictures, probably 60 because there's 30 here and then there's 30 in that tub for the next rotation. So yeah, I'll probably only have 30 with, completely ready to go live. So, but don't worry about it if you have a small store. It's much more manageable. You've had people tell me, hey, I want you to look at my store, but it's a small store. Like, great. That's less for me to look at. Okay. Um, the other thing I would have done differently is I would have kept better track of my profit. Like I literally for years had no clue um what I was making. I just didn't. Um and when you're a hobby seller, which is what I basically was in the beginning, um I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? As long as you're making a profit. But I was just really doing it as a hobby. Yeah, but once I stopped working in the office and needed to make up that income, that's when I was like, holy crap, I got to keep track of this somehow. That's why I got GoDaddy. We all know GoDaddy's defunct now on the bookkeeping end, so right now I'm doing it by hand. But yeah, keeping track of your money is very important. I wasn't even looking at that jacket when I took that photo, and I got it. I got it in the right place. Okay. I would have made my titles consistent. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that it's important to have consistent titles. I didn't know. I've always put the brand first and the gender after that. But I didn't know things like you don't have to put the word size in your title, and um, you're not supposed to use punctuation in your title, and you're not to put things like cute in the title. Like nobody Google's cute Avenue mini dress. Like they don't. It's just Avenue mini dress, right? We're wasting your characters. Now, there are some items that I list in my title. I only have like 64 characters. Like I have no idea what else I'm going to say about them. Then I might put something like I don't put cute, but I might put something like I don't know. I can't even think right now because I'm filming, but I might put something that nobody searches for. That's if I have like 64 characters and get 80 and I have nothing else to say about this piece of clothing. So I might put something on there that nobody would search for. And so I do that to fill up the characters, but I also do it like when people are scrolling through the things they're looking for, maybe that word will catch their eye. They've already done the search, right? Um, that's the reason why I put like tangerine orange. If I have lots of letters left and I have an orange item and it's tangerine orange like this, I might put the word tangerine and it might, somebody might see that when they're scrolling on the page. But for the most part, I do brand, gender, size, um, sleeve length. If it's button up, I put button up, collar, and then the sleeve length. And then anything else extra, like the color. I haven't really even been putting the pattern in unless I have extra spaces. So ruched, studded, embroidery, boat neck, keyhole, anything like that, that goes towards the end of the title, right? Because sometimes people are searching on their phone and they don't see what's at the end, and you want them to see what's at the beginning. Every single item, I believe, in my store now is in that format. Looks very uniform. The only way that I stray from that is if it's a Halloween, Christmas, 4th of July item. I put those words, Halloween, Christmas, 4th of July, in the beginning, at the very beginning, because I found that some people will search Christmas woman's t-shirt, right? So I want the word Christmas at the beginning. But other than that, I really don't stray from that format. If you go down to my store, you'll see it, right? And that's also why when customers search for like 7-7 women's bootcut jeans, a lot of times my items will come up in search one right after the other, and they'll buy 2 pair and they don't realize it's from the same seller. That's how consistent my titles are. So I'm surprised I haven't had any duplicate titles because I sell a lot of the same things, but I guess each item is definitely unique. If it's Chico's, I put Chico's women's top, 3, standard extra large. I spell it out, extra large. I don't put XL. XL is already in these item specifics. Well, what if somebody types out extra large? Well, there you go. I don't know if I've done a show on titles. Maybe I need to do that. Also, if any of you are thinking about using Sizely, the template for measurements, if you go to my Facebook page, Reseller Rowboat, there's a referral code and you'll get some money off your first month, and I'll get $10 off my subscription. I'd really appreciate it, and thank you, Maggie, for the suggestion. So I don't have any Amazon affiliate links because Amazon says my account's closed, which is untrue. So I don't know. Well, okay, this may be a very controversial one. Um, I hesitated about putting this on there, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because I was really angry about it. I would not have gone to any eBay Open workshop. I'd still go with eBay Open. But for me, when I went to eBay Open, I went for 2 reasons. I went to learn and I went to hang out with my friends. And I think I only went to 3 workshops, maybe 4, and they were going all day, every day. I learned absolutely nothing. And each workshop was like, I don't know, 45 minutes long. So that was like what? 6 hours of my time, at least. Um, that I could have been at the pool with my friends or at the bar or at the casino. Um, I'm sorry, eBay, but I learned absolutely nothing. And so what I decided to do, and I know some of you think this may be cheating, but this is what I'm doing, is when people go to places like this, they always come home and do a YouTube video about it, about what they learned. And so I can get that information for free. So yes, I would go again, but here's what I would do. I would sign up because you get a a discount for your hotel and everything, and you get meals and stuff like that, and you get to go to this party if they ever have it again. I don't know if they will. I would sign up, get my hotel room, and I would just go to all the fun events and skip all the workshops, right? On days when there were just workshops all day, I'd go to I have a lot of different places in Vegas I want to see as a tourist. I go do that, and then at night party with my friends or meet them in the conference room for a meal. But the workshops, I'm sorry. I hope that Katie and Vicky have a great reseller remix. I'll go ahead and plug that here now. From people that I know who've gone to Katie and Vicky's reseller remix, which is coming up in October, that it's much more informative. And the reason for that is, I'm assuming, is because the people who are giving the workshops are actual sellers. They may have a couple of people from eBay, but I think the majority of the people who speak are sellers. And so they've got you. They know where you're coming from. They want to help you. They understand the struggle, right? And they're going to be honest and answer your questions honestly. And if they don't know the answer, hopefully they'll just say, we don't know the answer. Instead of making crap up that they think everybody wanted to hear. There was a microphone in each one of those um, rooms, those seminars, and people would get up and they'd had time for like 3 questions. They never answered the questions. They just go around and around and around. So, I don't know. This is my last one. And then I'm going to get off of here because I'm almost done. If I had started over again, I would not have stored my items in tubs, which is kind of funny because I'm getting ready to start storing my sweaters in tubs. And that's just because I don't have any, um, I don't want to take up the room in my inventory boxes for heavy sweaters. But I started in tubs. Everybody used to use tubs, and God, digging through 30 items or more to find something that's at the very bottom. Or you've got 4 tubs stacked and you've got to get to the bottom tub to get one little thing. You have to pull them all up. I'm too old for that, right? Even back then, I was too old for that. So you can go to my channel and see how I do my inventory now. Just do a search for inventory. I have some videos. I'm going to make another one pretty soon. Um, I have shelves now, and most of my shelves have space for 2 boxes, one in front, one in the back. Each box, depending on what kind of item it is, can hold up to 12 items. I would rather go through one box of, let's say, 8 to 10 items, then move a big heavy tub and go through 30 items. A lot of my boxes are on eye level or close to it. There are some that are very, very high and there are some that are very, very low, but I don't have to move heavy things around anymore. I got to thinking about this the other day though, guys. Not that having tubs would help, but I had a friend who broke her ankle and she's on crutches. And I'm like, what would I do if I broke something? Let's say I broke a hip. Okay, we're knocking on wood right now. And I had to have a walker or I had to be in a wheelchair, broke my knee or something. How would I do my business? Because I have nobody to go up on that top shelf and get things off. I couldn't stand up to bend over to get things on the bottom shelf. So I started worrying about that. And that's the other thing. You need to have a plan for when things like that happen. So I have a plan now. I've decided, and I know they would go for this because kids love money. If you don't already know that. I have twin kids next door, twin girls. They're probably 8 years old now. And so my goal, my idea is if something like happens to me and I cannot physically get the items out of the boxes, I will hire them and I will pay them I will give them, I'll walk around with them in my walker or in my wheelchair, whatever, if I can get it out the door, and have them pick the stuff out of the boxes. So you need to have a plan. Either that or I'll have to just shut my eBay store completely down and not make sales until I'm mobile again, and I don't want to do that. So always have a plan. Okay, well, this is my last item. I hope you got some work done. I hope today finds you happy, healthy, and making lots of sales. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also I will appreciate a thumbs up. Until next time, bye.